Hi guys. So today I want to talk about antisocial personality disorder. A lot of times people describe it as psychopathy or sociopathy. So they may say someone's a psychopath or a sociopath. Those are not actually defined terms in the DSM-5, which is our diagnostic manual that we use to diagnose people with whether it's depression, anxiety, personality disorders, things of that nature. Now, antisocial personality disorder does encompass that general idea of psychopathy and sociopathy. So, I'm going to, we're going to look at Psychology Today, which I really like Psychology Today. So, if you have an interest in these types of things, sometimes you can find some valid information on that website. Okay. So ASPD describes an ingrained pattern of behavior in which individuals consistently disregard and violate the rights of others around them. So these are people without boundaries and do not respect boundaries of others. And they do not like boundaries if others try to set them. They actively disregard the rights of others. Individuals with antisocial personality disorder may also behave violently, recklessly, or impulsively as well. So they may do some very impulsive things that just sometimes absolutely do not make sense. Often with little regard for the wants or needs of others. So they may do things that are completely irresponsible, that may bring harm to whether that's financial or other types of harm to family or relationships. Um, the disorder is best understood within the context of the broader category of personality disorders. A personality disorder is an enduring pattern of personal experience and behavior that deviates noticeably from expectations of the individual's culture. It's pervasive and inflexible and has an onset in adolescence or early adulthood, is stable over time, and leads to personal distress or impairment. Now, the symptoms of antisocial personality disorder can vary in severity, and consequences can include imprisonment, drug abuse, or alcoholism. I think, particularly if you see all three of these things in a person, if they have multiple arrests for things like, again, disregarding the rights of others, right? So maybe trespassing, maybe stealing things that don't belong to them, but it's like, oh, you left it out, so it's mine now, right? Or if you didn't want me to steal it, you wouldn't have left it there, right? Um, so they can kind of think in that way. They may also be doing things that are illegal that they don't get caught for a lot of the time, right? Um, the more egregious, harmful, or dangerous behavior patterns are often colloquially referred to as sociopathic or psychopathic. Those are common terms in our culture, right? Although neither sociopathy nor psychopathy are official diagnostic terms, like I had mentioned, in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders, the DSM, which is what we use as therapists to diagnose our patients, um, and neither maps perfectly onto the symptoms of antisocial personality disorder as outlined in the DSM. The constructs are thought to be closely related. So people with antisocial personality disorder may seem charming on the surface. So they might seem kind, they might seem thoughtful, they might seem helpful to people. And so people might think that's like the nicest guy. Like I know, like he's super helpful. He shows up to do things, to be helpful and stuff like that. But that's surface level. Like that's if you're really not with them behind closed doors, right? Okay. But they're most likely to have irritable personalities. Um, they may have like some very severe mood swings, and then they are likely to be aggressive as well as irresponsible. Due to their manipulative tendencies, it may be difficult to tell whether they're lying or telling the truth. And sometimes I think also people with these types of disorders also are so fully delusional in their self-created reality that they actually, I think, sometimes truly believe the lies that they are perpetuating and the reality that they're perpetuating. So I think they really believe it sometimes. The diagnosis of antisocial personality disorder is not given to individuals under 18. However, we may see a child that is diagnosed with something like oppositional defiant disorder. A lot of times that turns into antisocial personality disorder as an adult. Um, let's see. Oh, they also talk about they may be diagnosed with a conduct disorder during that time when they are in childhood or adolescence, right? They may be someone that's gotten into trouble for doing things illegal before the age of 18, for maybe trespassing, breaking and entering. Maybe they're actually physically harming people, right? Or property, or damaging things, or doing things that are just illegal. Um, Now, this antisocial personality disorder is much more common in males than in females. Um, and the highest prevalence of antisocial personality disorder is found among males who abuse alcohol or drugs, or who are in prisons or other forensic settings. So, people who have been arrested multiple occasions, who've gone to jail, who've been on probation, who've been on parole, and who have addictions to alcohol and drugs. Okay. So I could go on, and I will at a different time, but um, this is something that's just been like so interesting to me. And I've been watching this woman's stuff, and I'll try to post it on my page also. But she used to work at Scotland Yard, I believe. And she has studied psychopaths, as she calls them. Not she doesn't refer to them as antisocial personality disorder, but as psychopaths, in depth, and her work seems so interesting. So I've been thinking about this stuff a lot lately, and so I just want to share some of it with you. I definitely want to um, share like that. I guess I will go over some of the criteria just really quickly, but like um, they have a failure to conform to basic social norms, often in ways that violate the law. Again, whether or not they're caught, we don't know, right? Sometimes they're caught, sometimes they're not. Repeated violations of the physical or emotional rights of others. So they may be very emotionally abusive, coercively controlling. Um, they don't respect the rights or the preferences of other people, right? They don't. Um, and they may physically also violate you as well. Lack of stability in job and home life may go through long periods of unemployment, or, for example, even in localities or situations where jobs are readily available. Irritability and aggression, they may get into frequent fights, be verbally aggressive, threaten other people. These types of people may have orders of protection against them, restraining orders, different things like that may come about for these people. Okay. Consistent irresponsibility, um, lack of remorse after harming someone or their property. They don't give a crap about your property. They don't give a crap about like your well-being, right? Because why should they, right? Like it's not their problem. Recklessness and impulsivity, deceitfulness, and they may think like, oh, I'm being honest, right? A lot of times their deceitfulness is more subtle. They're planting seeds of doubt. They are manipulating situations, right? In the way that they're wording things. So they may tell you something that has a grain of truth, but understand that they are not explaining the full context of the situation to you. Okay. A childhood diagnosis or symptoms consistent with conduct disorder should generally be present before the age of 15 years old. Okay, so there we go. Oh, and they definitely lack empathy for other people. Their brains are just wired differently. So they lack empathy. That's a big sign. All right. Okay. I wanted to share that with you guys. And yeah, it can be they can be very hard to recognize. And you may only recognize these things about them um, once you've been in a more deep intimate personal relationship with them that you start to notice some of the warning signs, and you probably won't notice them until you're deeply involved with someone like this. So, but I want to share that information with you guys today because I've been super interested in this topic lately. And again, if I see information from that woman, I'm spacing on her name right now, um, but she seems to just have so much information, and I'd love to share that with you guys on my page also. So, all right, thanks for listening, guys.